Hello, welcome back to my channel for Luminescence, here with a Leo moon transit during Virgo season. The Leo moon will be in its dark phase, so this is definitely a good time to get out your rituals and get it popping. The rituals during a dark moon going to a new moon phase is to release, cleanse, and let go, which I see here is very much needed in the spread. So, some things just to touch on during this Leo moon transit is that it's going to be a trine to Chiron, so there's going to be healing or observation of healing, some forms of egotism, pride, and just paying attention overall to what we've been giving our attention to, what we've been focused on, and how that has been growing in a hidden aspect of our personality. It's going to conjunct Venus, giving us an urge to splurge with something or someone, or more creativity, being input on what our dreams are and what we wish to happen or come true. We're going to have a square over to Uranus and Taurus, the ninth house to Virgo. So there is a challenge with releasing some attachments related to the 3D perspective that we live in. So, and then it's ninth house. So it can be releasing attachments to old philosophies that, set us up for, changes and success, but they are, conflicting with our ability to maintain a healthy ego when it comes to changes. Sextile to Mercury in Libra, being able to let in balanced views of what we deem as worth our time to communicate about, that's worth, changing. And I say changes a lot, even though Leo is a fixed sign, is because the Leo moon is taking place in the 12th house of Virgo. So a lot of unseen, hidden emotions will be coming out and unraveling during this transit. And this is basically all the aspects are going to hit places in our subconscious that have been hidden and are starting to come to the surface to be peeled back or peeled away, and allowing for that new moon to come in, which is why it's very important to do detoxes, cleanses, or any type of routine or ritual that allows you to go ahead and clean and cleanse your space. With it in conjunction to the big three, starting with Jupiter because it's gone direct, we will be given more work to do in our 3D reality. And because Capricorn is fifth house to Virgo, this will have a lot to do with us getting excited and ready to exercise our creativities, even though we're getting more workload. So that can be changes with children, that can be changes with any projects or, things that we consider to be babies, personally speaking. And then Neptune also in conjunction retrograde. This is going to expose what type of faith system, how have we been persisting and making sure that we get what we want to its fruition. And then with Pluto and Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, we are still cutting off and letting go of fears of, people that, we deem valuable, or relationships that we deem very sacred to us. When it comes to, work, is it healthy, or is it some fear of success that we're holding on to that we need to release? And with the trine over to Mars being retrograde before the new moon goes exact in Virgo, this fire trine here with the 8th house to Virgo is us managing, other people's money, having the energy of someone coming to collect actually slow down and gives you an opportunity to get your strength up and, settle your anger or things that cause you to be angry, and actually getting a good look at what those actually do for you or what it actually means to you. This can be an unexpected receiving of money coming from other people or other things that you've been working towards leading up to the Mars retrograde, and you may receive this um, stipend or something like that, and you need to be very careful and realistic with this moon in the 12th house. You want to be realistic about how you feel and not over dramatize situations. So I'm gonna start with the first deck I laid out first, the Mystic Rebel Oracle deck. At the bottom we have Raise Your Vibe. Okay, so the guided message is to raise our vibrations during this time. During a dark moon phase, it's very kind of hard. Very kind of hard. It can be pretty difficult to keep emotional sanity, especially if you're not allowing things to go, which is what the dark moon phase is about, because it's 12th house to whatever sun sign it is. And the 12th house is about releasing things that we no longer see, but we can still feel. And it is associated with the 12th house Neptune, the crown chakra, which is about not having detachments and learning the art of detachment. And that doesn't mean that you don't place value on things you have in your physical reality. It just means that at the end of the day you came here by yourself and you will leave by yourself, and valuing yourself more on a soul level is very, very important, because you don't want to be so connected and holding on to ideas or how other people may see or feel about things so much that you inherently block whatever is meant to come in once you do that release. So we have serendipity, being in the right place at the right time, self-reliance, being able to focus on exactly what it is that you want and how to gain success in following your ordained path, and returning to nature, getting back in touch with what makes you feel like you, what keeps you, and all that good stuff. So looking at the clarifiers using the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sterl. We have the Lovers on serendipity with the Eight of Pentacles. This is the Sun and Virgo card. This is Jupiter. So serendipity, of course, like I said, being in the right place at the right time. During this releasing moment, we can get into an alignment with that sextile to the North Node. We can have an alignment within our mind and heart on a decision that we like to make, and then us being presented with the option to go ahead and get back to work with that Jupiter stationing direct in Capricorn in the 5th house. So allowing our creativity or things that we love, or the choice that we made to love our work, or finding a career path that something that could turn into us building like a little baby for ourselves. Like having the space to be able to do that requires us creating the space within. Having a balanced mind and heart and working on that on an internal level allows us to meet and greet people who are also on the same path as us. And that serendipitous moment can lead us to working out things internally that we have been, lacking on giving our full attention to, especially with the Chiron and Mars retrograde going on. So there's definitely an opportunity for growth and whatever we choose to focus our energy on, with editing and making changes with both of those energies. So going into self-reliance here, we have the Sun and the Nine of Cups. So this is the Fool on its rebirthing journey as a child. And with the Sun, we have illumination. The past is behind us, as things have happened and things have matured and grown. But now we get to take root, and what we now have been illuminated with the Sun being here, what now we can see, that our wishes are on the horizon, just due to relying on the self, relying on your universe, relying on your higher power more than you are giving attention to people, places, and things, ideas outside of you. The Eight of Cups is a card about, walking away from things that, not serving you, not making you happy, not making you fulfilled. And because the Eight of Cups is a Saturnine energy, it is about being responsible to know when you should walk away. And then here we have Jupiter in Pisces. So we go from restriction to expansion. So now that we have learned to be self-sufficient as much as possible and not aiding codependency when it comes to keeping our faith alive, we get to see that we get to expand way more than before, because now we get to see clearly, with Leo also being associated with the sun sign. We get to see, and peer into our subconscious, like the emotions that we have picked up from others, the emotions that are really ours, and divide them from what is not really ours, and relying on, again, our own faith. What are you persisting in? What have you been persisting in, and what emotions or what thoughts are you using to stir your emotions that has gotten you to the point where you're ready to, just kind of, you're getting ready to start over. The 9 is just before the 10, so we've acquired a lot of wisdom from feeling the emotions of others, from seeing the work that others have done. And now it's time for us to, add our cup to the situation, even though, her back is turned to them, because, those 8 of Cups you walked away from, but there's one more thing. There's one more cup to be filled that you get to sit pretty on. And that last cup is the gratitude, the appreciation of being able to be protected in your expansion after releasing all of what no longer serves you, and allowing that to grow and manifest into whatever it was meant to be. And, separating your emotions, being tied up in the emotions of others. So here, the last section here is, we have, return to nature. So and this was a lot that came out here, like a lot of air. So we have an opportunity here to, one, the Sun and Gemini card. We have an opportunity to, let go of things, and in our letting go, Gemini, it can be a community of people, or just ideas and ways that brought us comfort through learning from our immediate environments. There are things that we have opportunities to release and let go, and understanding, most importantly, that everything will be okay. Everything is fine, as the other card puts it. Everything will be good, and allowing yourself to release all these negative, thoughts that, make you feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough, balancing out that heart chakra, and, being very clear on the reality that you want, and not being afraid to release affairs, relationships, even love interests, that restrict us from the type of balance that we actually need to have in our life, or that they restrict us from feeling like we are worthy of what it is that we want to create. Seeing with and then you have 2 aces. So, we have we're beginning to see all the ideas that were not ours, all the emotions that were not ours, in our return to nature. And then now that we've returned, we have a clear mind on what to get rid of, who to get rid of, and what was causing the imbalance altogether. And therefore, we have a raise in vibration, and under there we have that endless abundance coming in right behind it. So at the bottom of here, we have the Chariot. And under that, let's see, yep, Jupiter, more fortune, wheel of fortune. So and this is, the Cancer card, Freya with her sphinxes. And the Cancer is related to moon energy, but the number 7 here overall, this is a moon where there's going to be a lot of separations. And what we're separating ourselves from first is what we identify with when it comes to ego. And I'm only saying ego because it's the sun, and the sun is here, but Leo is associated with, its ruler, the sun. So with it being in the 12th house, to Virgo, we are keenly aware through our senses and pick up on emotionally people, places, things, ideas that we connect to people, and maybe a little bit too much, or we give a little bit too much attention rather to things that we know in the long term will have to be dissolved eventually. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everything has a shelf life, everything is temporary. Our existence here is temporary, but how you enjoy the journey, how you love your journey is completely and totally up to you. And you don't have to allow anyone else to come in and make decisions for you about what's going to bring you, the wisdom you need emotionally to go after what it is you want to make you feel complete. You don't have to give away your power subconsciously to someone to manipulate and control you for their advantages and your disadvantage. And you definitely don't have to be a victim of circumstances or a victim at all. You can actually, use the opportunity to get back in touch with yourself and release all the false narratives and stories that sometimes we do tell ourselves when we're hurt or we're afraid of what success can lie in the future if we just allow things to perish, allow things to fall, allow things to, run down the river. And you can bless it and send it off with love, of course, but again, with the 12th house, being related to the crown chakra, this is a time for us to learn that art of detachment. Learn the art of detachment. It's single people, this is us. This card, Gemini and Venus, it is associated with giving and others, but this angel here, this higher consciousness here, is about us uniting the parts of ourselves that, sometimes can become distant, but we need to work to bring those two back together in reality. So, we could be up in the clouds in our mind about decisions being made and how they're going to be manifested, and what energy we give to them is going to come back. But physically, we can also do the work too to help this union come from being two to, just the one. All right, so that's my energetic reading for the Leo moon. Thank you so much. You can subscribe to the channel, like and share as well. I am available on Patreon with these videos, as well as a blog update for the transitions that we make throughout the year. Peace.